दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधाकान्त नमोस्तुते तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Hare Krishna. So this entire presentation is based upon Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. So therefore we can discuss it in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam class. And Prabhupada actually talks a lot about leadership in his purports and in his lectures, in his teachings. So we can see that Prabhupada specifically says that how many of the avatars of the Lord, so they descend on this planet in order to correct the leadership, right the leadership. So these are very beautiful principles from Shukadeva Goswami, Suta Goswami, and from Śrīla Prabhupada's teachings. And in the Varnashram society, Prabhupada specifically addresses Brahmanas and Kshatriyas as the natural leaders of society. Because both the things, the leadership and the management, so they constitute the overall leadership and the direction of the society. So let us try to see. Do we have some one or two more mics here? Do you keep? Okay, one is there. So maybe some devotees can read also. Anybody would like to begin? Leader, the individual who holds the position of leader and is capable of guiding directly. Leadership, a broader concept that encompasses the skills, qualities, and actions involved in guiding, inspiring, and influencing a group or organization. Yeah, so these are dictionary definitions. Okay. But in our Krishna consciousness movement, what is leadership? Servant leadership. Yeah. Little more, making devotees, keeping devotees happy, and expanding Prabhupada's mission. Okay, that is leadership. To the degree we can do that. And leadership involves both aspects, the Brahmanical aspect and the managerial or the missionary, the institutional aspect. Both are important. Why? It is explained in the Dharma Shastras that sometimes a Brahmanical person may not be able to detect cheating or may not be able to make good use of opportunities, may not be able to vitalize the team very nicely. But a person like who's acting as a Kshatriya can do it very nicely. So a combination of both works very good, like that. So who is a leader? In one sense, everyone. And as we discuss, the Brahmanical and Kshatriya leadership. So there are these three aspects of leadership: the personal character, and the administrative or institutional abilities, and third is the interpersonal dealings. So we'll try to see as much as we can. So let us begin with the personal character. So there are 8 qualities which in the overall context of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Prabhupada has mentioned in his purports, which many of our ISKCON leaders have together uh, like, done research and analysis, and then they have come up with these. So first quality is that of sadhana. So sadhana is the root of everything. Unless there is good sadhana, there cannot be good consciousness. There cannot be good purpose only. Okay, why am I serving? So as Prabhu said, servant leadership. So leadership in Krishna consciousness specifically is servant leadership. To the degree we are servant, to that degree only we can serve as a leader. And therefore, in order to be a servant, sadhana is extremely essential, the very first aspect. Because this forms the root, the foundation of everything. This is the connection to Krishna, right? So we can see many examples like here in Tamil Nadu, close by, there was this great king called King Kulashekar. Of course, he was Alavar. So he used to be always absorbed in Lord Ranganath, right? And because of that, he was an extremely good leader. You can see Yudhishthir Maharaj, Dashrath Maharaj. You can see King Vrishabhanu of Barsana. You can see our Mithila, what is his name? Janak Maharaj. So you take any king who actually was a great model example or who was a very good caretaker of the entire praja. He had to be connected to the Supreme Lord. Without being connected to the Supreme Lord, a person on the leadership position becomes exploiter. And to the degree he is connected to the Supreme Lord, to that degree he becomes a servant. That is why sadhana is the foundational element. So Krishna was very eager to establish Yudhishthir on the throne of the king of Hastinapur. Why? Because Yudhishthir was a great devotee. Because Pandavas were great devotees. And Krishna was very eager to get Duryodhan removed. Because Duryodhan was opposite. So this sadhana, spiritual connection, is very vital. Anybody like to read?
Spiritual potency. Leader means spiritually, not materially. This you should understand very clearly. If spiritual potency and strength is there, then material intelligence will automatically follow. You must have a solid foundation of chanting and following the devotees' principles. Then one is fit to lead others.
So Prabhupada says leader means spiritually, not materially. Without spiritual potency, nothing will happen. And if spiritual potency is there, then material intelligence will automatically follow. So, like about Yudhishthir Maharaj also, Bhagavatam describes Krishna Padanu Sevaya, or you would have heard of that verse, Vipra Dharma Achyuta Ashraya. So Pandavas always took shelter of Vipra, the devotees, Dharma, the devotional service, Bhakti Yoga, and Achyuta, the Supreme Lord Krishna himself. And because of which, Lord was always there to protect them and the entire kingdom. So here also we see that Yudhishthira is taking shelter of the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. Krishna Padanu Sevaya. We see Mukunda Manaso. He was always absorbed in the thoughts of Lord Mukunda. So similarly, you would have definitely heard about Ambrish Maharaj. Prabhupada quotes these verses many places. In Bhagavad Gita itself, Prabhupada has quoted these verses. Savai Mana Krishna Pada Ravindayo. So how Ambrish Maharaj was always engaged along with his mind, intelligence, his all the limbs. Each limb is described separately. That he was always engaged in serving Krishna. So this is the primary quality of a leader. Actually, we can see Brahmaji also. This is a verse from second canto which beautifully glorifies Brahma. Let us recite this verse. Na bharati mengam rishopalabhyate na vaikachinme manaso mrishagati na me rishikani patantya satpathe यन्मे हृदोत्कंठ यन्मे हृदोत्कंठ्यवताधृतो हरि. Beautiful. It says, na bharati menga mrishopalakshate na ve kvachin me manaso mrishagari. So in 3 lines, he says about his intelligence, his mind, and his senses. So he says none of them, like whatever he speaks, okay, it comes out to be true, he says. Why? Because I am connected to the Supreme Lord. And he says, my mind also, my mind and intelligence never go away from any dharma. In fact, Yudhishthir Maharaj himself was so confident, he would say that if some thought is fitting into my mind, is accepted by my mind, it must be sanctioned by scripture. What a nice litmus test, na? हमारा भी litmus test हो सकता है. If something fits in our mind, it must not be there in the So he has blue litmus, we have red litmus. And he says, my Rishika, my senses also, they are not getting astray. Why? Because I am always focused, concentrated. I am always holding the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord in my heart. Similar verse is there by Kulshekar Alvar also. He says that because I am getting the nectar from the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord, therefore I am not affected by anything in this world. People may criticize me, people may call me even black spot on my dynasty. People may say anything, but I am not affected by them. So we can see Bhishma himself actually was, yesterday we discussed about Bhishma Dev. So Bhishma himself was totally Krishna conscious, crystal clear in his Chetana, in his consciousness at the last point of his life. Because he was totally into, absorbed in the thoughts of the Supreme Lord. And so he also glorified the Pandavas. That, O Pandavas, Vipra Dharma Achyutashraya, because you have always taken shelter of the Supreme Lord. So what if sadhana is not consistent? Then there is instability, emotional instability, intellectual instability in Krishna consciousness. Then people may get into politics, people may get into groupism. Then people do not feel secure in Krishna consciousness. Therefore, this is the very basis, this is the very foundation. Okay. Second, second quality. Yeah, who would like to read?
Willingness to seek guidance. Leader means one who has become first class disciple. He is leader. To become leader, he is not very difficult, provided one is prepared to follow the instruction of Guru.
Yeah, we can see that even Vyasadeva, someone who wrote the entirety of scriptures in the first canto, he is seeking guidance. So this seeking guidance is not an act of weakness. It is an act of humility. It is an act of dependence on the Lord. And it's actually an act of getting empowered. So a person who cannot seek guidance or who cannot depend upon the Acharya or the Acharya's representatives or the Shastras, how can he serve as a leader? Because the very concept of leadership is that of representation. We say in Sanskrit, they say pratinidhitva. So pratinidhi means representative. And to do representation means I should know what is the presentation. Then only I can do representation, right? So therefore, that seeking guidance, it is in ISKCON, it is essential that the leader understands the mood, mission, the teachings of the Acharya, the priorities of the Acharya, right? Like for example, did Prabhupada teach us cow protection, establishing Gaushalas? Yes. Did Prabhupada teach us Harinam Sankirtan and book distribution? Okay. Did Prabhupada teach us temple construction? Okay. Now, among these three, are all equal important teachings of Prabhupada? No, exactly. No. So, what will be the priority order? Harinam Sankirtan and book distribution. That is the first. Then second, establishing temples. Then third, Gaushalas and farming. Correct? I'm not saying these are the top three. I'm saying in these three, these are. Prabhupada taught many things, right? But to understand Prabhupada's mission very clearly, like there is a book, this Giriraj Maharaj's book, Juhu book, na? I'll build you a temple. Masterclass book actually. So many incidents with Prabhupada, so many letters and instructions of Prabhupada. You get to understand clarity. There is another book, Tamal Krishna Maharaj, Servant of the Servant, wherein he talks about, Prabhupada wrote this letter, Prabhupada gave these instructions, and then from there he is bringing out, like part by part, what we can learn, what does our Acharya want. If we do not know what our Acharya wants, or if we do not know what Shukadev Goswami or our Gaudiya Acharyas they want from us, how would we actually serve as a leader? And to seek guidance from their representatives as well, who have more experience and maturity in understanding their mission. So this is a very important one. See, okay, some only will be able to discuss. So see, here are some good examples, some bad examples. Can you give some good examples and some bad examples from the Shastras? Those who were eager and those who were not eager to seek guidance as leaders. Dhritarashtra. Okay, what about him? Was he eager or not eager? Bad example. Actually, he understood he was a little, special example. He would understand that the guidance is essential and Vidura is giving me good guidance. But because of his attachment to Duryodhana, he would reject. Duryodhana is classical bad example. Duryodhana and this Ravana's son, Indrajit, because they expelled the right counselor. Okay, this guy expelled Vidura and he expelled Vibhishana. And in both cases, their fathers were attached to the sons, despite understanding that this guy is right. Okay. Any other bad examples or good examples? Anyone? Come on. At least some. Huh? Vena, excellent example. Vena is classical example of how to get doomed. So Vena was established by Brahmanas and then he was also removed by the Brahmanas because he was telling the public, you should worship me. And then he was telling Brahmanas also, you should worship me. That is Vena. On the other hand, his father Anga was such a faithful, loyal follower of the Brahmanas and Shastras. That is a good example. Any other? Parikshit Maharaj, very good example. Parikshit Maharaj was cursed by a Brahmana in a wrongful way, but still he went to another Brahmana to prepare for death. That kind of faith he had, Parikshit Maharaj. Huh? कहाँ से आ रहे हैं आकाशवाणी? King Rahugana, yeah. So he was good example or bad example? Actually, he was good example only, bro. He was even going to Kapila Dev, actually. But yeah, on a personal note, he was little. He was in ignorance. He couldn't recognize this Jad Bharat's greatness. So yeah, he was a good example. Yeah. Vidura asking whom? Uddhava. Okay, right. So Vidura is, of course, Vidura is not exactly in position of a leader. So, but yeah, it's a good example. So like that, you see, there are so many examples like that. Vyasadeva himself, of course, he was not exactly a king, but he was a Brahmanical leader. And he is taking guidance from Narada Muni. So Bhagavatam has so many examples like that. Chitraketu Maharaj, he's seeking guidance. Of course, in his case, it was conditional, but still it is a good example. Yeah. So this is the second aspect of, second quality of leadership. So you want to add anything, Brajakrishnan? Please. Yeah. You are already GVC. So actually it is explained that ego is subtler than intelligence. And therefore, when a leader especially faces problem, crisis at the level of his ego or mind, He needs to consult an intelligence higher than his ego. And therefore, seeking guidance is extremely essential for every living entity. Therefore, Śrīla Prabhupada also made the system of GBC. That GBC is a collective body. So even up to the level of GBC, there should be the seeking of guidance. So there is two levels of seeking guidance. One is from some superior person or some superior leadership, and from the Shastra. This is one level above. Second level is one should have along with him, any leader should have some people, like there used to be, what used to call them, ministers or something, like they used to consult before taking decision. You find in Ramayana, even Ravana had such a council. Yeah, before taking any decision, should we do war or not? Should I kidnap Sita or not? Of course, that's another case that they were all contaminated people, so their opinions were not very good. Kamsa also. So everybody had this kind of, yeah. And third level, one can even have some equal friends whom one can consult. Okay. So if you have a friend like Vraja Krishna Prabhu, you are very fortunate. So I am very fortunate. You guys are a little less. Okay, third quality. This is a very famous quality which comes in Bhagavad Gita also. Yeah, would like to read. Yeah. Walk the talk.
Good leadership means you must learn how to lead together. If the Sreshta, the leader, is ideal, then other will follow. But if the leader is not ideal, then will be misguided.
Yeah, correct. So Prabhupada like quotes Krishna in many places, like how Krishna told Arjuna that in Bhagavad Gita itself, Krishna says, Arjuna, if you set this standard of not standing up for dharma, then what will happen to the rest of the public? They will quote you as an example. Arjuna did not stand for dharma. Why should I stand? Arjuna chose to be, like in Hindi they say kair, correct? Fearful guy. So I should also be like that, covered, like that. So we see that in the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, there are many examples like King Gaya, King Janaka, whose ideal practice is spoken about. The entire Ramayana is about Maryada Purushottam. What an example of Lord Ram. Nobody can claim to be God, right? Who can claim to be an ideal person like that? Absolutely nobody. But Lord Ram can. That's why he's Lord. Yeah. King Prithu also is a very ideal personality. Okay. So about Dhruva also, it is explained that even when he was going back to Godhead, his behavior with other sages was very ideal. Even that time, what to say before that? Not like Dhruva is going back to Godhead and is telling to other sages chanting there. Keep chanting, one day you will also. Pray for my mercy. And so this specifically explained. Plus, he was also grateful to his mother, because his mother, see, that was 36,000 years before. Can we remember 36? We don't remember 3,600 days before. 3,600 days also is too much, right? Maybe 36 days before also. 36 hours, bro, is too much. I try to remember. So it is explained that he was Śrīla Sampannam actually. Yeah. So therefore, the example of a leader should be very ideal. Really, that matters a lot, because that speaks a lot. There's an action speaks louder than words. Okay, fourth.
Respect and appreciation for other leaders.
Yeah, this is so essential, because this leads to the people able to follow principles and not depend upon a personality. Plus, this leads to people actually learning how they also should be united, as friends in Krishna consciousness. This also teaches people that how a devotee should not be envious or in competition with another devotee. So respect and appreciation for other leaders. Plus, I heard this one thing that no one leader can be absolutely good in everything, right? It's not possible. So, like Prabhupada disciples, if you see, one disciple is empowered in certain qualities or certain services, of Śrīla Prabhupada, and another disciple would be very good in another thing. So, when a person has many inspirations, he follows his leader, his one leader, but in terms of inspiration, he can get from so many, and that is very healthy because he can grow very nicely, isn't it? Like in a joint family, a child grows very holistically, but in a nuclear family, there is a very linear growth of the child, very limited growth of the child. Because how many examples is he getting to see? Like only parents are there. The parents may not know Bhagavad Gita very nicely, or parents may not know Ramayana very nicely. So then he only learns something, right? Or parents may not know music very nicely. So in ISKCON also, the exposing every devotee to multiple leaders actually opens up doors for so many. Like suppose a devotee sees only one leader who is always talking on Bhagavatam, 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 and the younger devotee doesn't have that kind of ability or interest. Then he will feel I cannot serve probably Prabhupada's mission. Why? Because the only thing I know is that this is the only thing which is appreciated or which is highlighted. But then he may see another leader, right? Who may be very good in book distribution or Harinam Sankirtan. In New York, there is this Ram Rai Prabhu. He's a natural leader actually. And so many people he inspires and he takes them for this. You were there, na, Prabhu? So you also went for Sankirtan? Yeah, so nice, na? And huh? Amazing actually, really. So many people have become devotees by that. And I think he has been doing it for last 30, 40 years, if I'm not wrong, maybe even more. So he just takes them to different public places, okay? And then they just put down some mats, they put down the musical instruments. And many of their team members have been recruited by them doing kirtans like that. I also participated many times actually. It's the best thing if you ever go to US, definitely do this. And sometimes they take you to Prabhupada's places also. And there they sit down and they just do kirtan. Just do kirtan. Nothing else. Person passes by from there, na? When he passes from there, he also starts. People don't even understand what they're singing at times. Of course, they put some Mahamantra, placards and all, but it's so nice actually. So he's a leader in himself, just inspiring people like that. And they don't even try to preach. I saw that. I was the only guy trying to preach. Because for them, it's every day, 365 days. And their preaching is, they are ecstatic. They are just experiencing ecstasy just at that place. And that is the best preaching. You don't have to say anything. They just put a small book table, very small. Okay, few books. And people take. That's it. Simple. So, so there are many examples of this mutual respect and appreciation in Bhagavatam. See, Manu and Kardama. This is one of the examples which like when I originally read this, I think in 2007 or something. First time I read this section, it was very heart touching because I saw that Manu. See, who is Manu? Okay, who is Manu, by the way? You tell me. Huh? The son of Brahma is fine. I'm talking about. See, Manu is a Manvantara, right? So under him, there are, I think, 71, right? Huh? Yeah, 71 cycle of Divya Yogas. Huh? Yeah, but I am saying, see, 71 cycles of Divya Yoga means so many kings have come and gone. In so many cycles, He is practically the overall administrator of or the leader of the entire universe. Correct? And who is Kardama? He's a little guy. Who is one yogi in one universe, in one Divyuga. He's just sitting in one small little forest and is doing his tapasya. It is impossible for someone like him to have appreciation for this guy. Correct or not? But mutually they are appreciating each other so much. This is very interesting, Achyuta. And Kardama is a great Brahmana, is a great yogi, and he is appreciating him. So there is, you find in Bhagavatam opposite example also. Sharmishtha and Devyani. They are also one Brahmani and one Kshatrani. And they were abusing each other. Hey, you Brahmanas, beggars at our door, you come for charity. You know? Correct. Huh? And Brahmana is telling, Are you fools, you don't have any intelligence, you depend on us. So both are like, fighting like that. But here you find there is so much mutual respect and appreciation. He's ready to give his daughter to him in marriage. That much appreciation he has. So similarly, you see, there are so many other examples given here. Yeah. Many of the kings, they would be willing to donate their kingdom to the Brahmanas, isn't it? So many places you find like that. Can you give some examples from Bhagavatam or from any scriptures where there is mutual appreciation between leaders?
राजा महाराज दशरथ
Lord
ने किया
Ram
था
and
अपना
Vishnu,
सारा
okay.
kingdom.
That was a little different appreciation because that was as a lord and as a devotee. Any other?
महाराज दशरथ ने
Good
ब्राह्मणों को
example.
दिया था.
Vasudev and Nanda. Excellent example. It comes in 10th canto, 5th chapter. Any other example? Dhruv Maharaj and Kuvera, yeah. Yeah. So good. Huh? Darshat Maharaj and Vishwamitra, yes. Very good example. Hanuman and Sugriva, yeah. Very good. So like that, there are many examples, multiple examples. In ISKCON, can you give example? Like how, like I have seen, you would have seen His Holiness Jayapataka Maharaj, and very famous photo is there, like this, embracing His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj. There's another photo in which His Holiness Bhakti Charu Maharaj and His Holiness Jayapataka Maharaj are dancing in the Rath Yatra. I don't know whether you've seen or not. So actually this inspires people so much. Many times devotees don't remember content of the lectures, but they remember the interactions, the friendly interactions, the mutual appreciations of the leaders for each other, the spiritual masters for each other. Correct, no? That is more of a highlight because that is the essence of the lecture. Yeah, like that. So we don't compete. We only compete to serve. We don't compete to outsmart each other. We compete to serve each other. Like that. Yeah, even Krishna's example is there. Krishna is serving Brahmanas and sages. Okay. Okay. So you want to add anything? Please give. Yeah, maybe. I hope it is about service. Yeah, you understand. I think it may be typo. Yeah. To give mic to Prabhu. You add something, I'll also feel happy. Yeah.
He saw Dhamacharya was more qualified. So he became a simple devotee and Dhamacharya was that quality of Vaishnavism is very difficult.
Very good example. So this similar thing comes in Garga Samhita, where Nanda Maharaj, so I think Upananda was supposed to become the king. And there was a lot of debate between like Upananda and Nanda, because Upananda wanted Nanda to become. And I think they were the sons of Parjanya. So Parjanya also was involved in the beginning. And everybody took a stand that no, Upananda only should become. But when Upananda took very strong stand, so they were kind of agreeing, okay, fine. But then Nanda Maharaj took a stand that no, this is wrong. I am anyways always available at your service. So then finally Upananda had to agree. Then all the preparations began, and so everything was announced. If you consider all the posters or WhatsApp messages, everything had Upananda is going to be coronated. Then the Yajna and all that final ceremony, that began. That time he got up and he put all those chadar and everything on Nanda Maharaj, and he said, "Use it." So Nanda Maharaj said, "No, you are the king of Vrindavan." Says, "Yes, I am the king. Now you follow my order, because you are better servant. Because people love both of us, but people trust you more because you." And then he describes his qualities, actually very beautiful qualities he describes. And you also love them all. I know that, and so you will be the best king. And then he said, "I will play the role you are going to play for me. I will always be there for you." And then Nanda Maharaj said, "Okay, I also have one condition. Whatever decisions I take, they will have to be approved by you. They'll have to be sanctioned by you. And whatever you suggest, that will be an order for me. And I will always do that." So then they both agreed. What a beautiful example, like that. So there are many examples like that. See, even this example in Bhagavatam comes of kings captured by Jarasandha. You heard of this? They were in the captivity of Jarasandha. Just like those Rajkumaris, those princesses were in the captivity of Narakasura. And Krishna released both of them. When these kings were released, you know what they said? A verse comes in Bhagavatam, I don't remember the verse. It says that our dear Krishna, actually it is very good that you have released us from the shackles of this demon, Jarasandha. But truly speaking, we deserved this because we were fighting with each other. We were trying to outsmart each other and even wage wars upon each other to conquer more and more domain. And we would never appreciate and respect each other. But now, because we were together in the captivity, we were crying for you together, So now we are like brothers. And now we developed a lot of bonds with each other. And so you did the best thing for us, actually, by making us captivated also and by releasing us also. Amazing, na? So like that. So Prabhupada also asked that if you can show your love for me by how you cooperate. By how you cooperate. No, cooperate. Okay. Okay, let's go to them. Yeah, who would like to read?
Gratitude and representative consciousness. The two verses.
So this is another very classical example, very good quality. So see, a leader, unless he is grateful towards the predecessor acharyas, the seniors, and the Supreme Lord, he will not be able to serve as a representative. Just say you see in Ramayana, Bharat Maharaj, the famous story of how Bharat Maharaj took that Paduka. He said to Lord Ram that please return back. And even Kaikeyi went with him. Yesterday I was sharing this in Pesit and this pastime, and they were all listening intently actually. I was not hoping that MBA students. So when Bharat Maharaj, he and Kaikeyi and all, practically everyone, Kaushalya and Sumitra and even Vashishta, they all went to get Ram back, convince him to come back and be on the throne of Ayodhya. But Ram refused. Ram said that the last instruction given to me by my father was to be here in the forest. So a lot of arguments went back and forth. It was like the opposite version of Shukracharya and Bali Maharaj episode. Because there he was trying to convince him not to do the right thing. And here they were trying to, like here when Jabali Rishi was there. Jabali Rishi says, Arey Ram, why are you following all this moral principles, scriptural principles? Ram said, huh? Why not to follow? Hey, who has seen whether there is Supreme Lord or not? Whether there is next life or not? This is one life, enjoy. And you are getting opportunity to enjoy, you are rejecting. Ram says, are you telling me there is no God? So Jabali Rishi says, who has seen whether there is Supreme Lord or not? Who has seen next life or karma is there or not? Enjoy, Baba. Ram is not given there, but Ram would have thought, this is first time in the history or in the any time that people are preaching atheism directly to God. But this was an act of pure bhakti. Shuddha bhakti. Why? It was for the pleasure of. Otherwise, why? Then Ram says, why are you in this ashram? Like, why are you a sannyasi? Jabali Rishi? And he got confused. No, I mean, who knows? Ram said, photo yahan se. Ram gave him device first session. Bhai, there is God. Look around. There is design in the universe. This guy gets defeated. Everybody tried like this. Vashishta tried. Kaushalya tried. Ram didn't agree with anyone. Finally, they had to agree with Ram. So okay, Bharat says, I will rule. I will take care of the kingdom. I will not rule. Says, I will be your representative. So if you are staying on the earth, in the forest, I will dig a pit few feet below. I will stay there. If you are eating kanda moola phala, I will eat only kanda. Because if my Swami is eating this, I should eat lesser than him. You are wearing tree bark, I will also wear tree bark, but only on the lower part of my body. Because I cannot compete with you that my entire body is covered with. So beautiful description of Bharat. Bharat says, I am a servant. I am your representative. So I will take care of this kingdom on your behalf. I'll take care of your kingdom only till that 14th year, last day. Next day onwards, you have to come. I will serve, but I will not use the privileges. This is representative consciousness. That it belongs to my Supreme Lord, it belongs to my Swami. So therefore, when the servant leader has gratitude towards Prabhupada, especially in our case, Prabhupada, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and when that leader acts as a representative of Prabhupada and GBC, so that is the best way he can serve. Unlike Vena, like Prithu actually says that you don't have to glorify me. He says, whatever good things you are getting in the kingdom, thanks to Supreme Lord, I am only his representative. It's my duty to serve. On the other hand, Vena, what does he say? Stop glorifying Vishnu. You worship me. So this difference is there. Yeah. So Prabhupada says, not craving for credit, no personal ideologies or agendas. There is no limit to what you can achieve if you do not care who gets the credit. So a true leader, actually, like we can see our great spiritual masters also, they are actually serving on behalf of Prabhupada, even as spiritual masters. Then what to say of acting as a leader or a manager? Yeah. Okay. Sixth quality.
Integrity. Honesty to admit one's Parikshit reverence.
Yeah. Actually, I just remembered, so I should just share in the previous one. Like Prabhupada's songs in Jaladuta also you can see. Bhakti nahi veda nahi name khub daro Bhakti vedant naam he besarthak kuro. Prabhupada is actually praying to the Supreme Lord that actually Bhagavatam is going to US and I am just accompanying Bhagavatam as its assistant. That was Prabhupada's consciousness. Prabhupada's confidence did not come from, I will go and preach. Prabhupada said, when they hear, Kane shune bara bara, that line comes, when they hear the pure message of Bhagavatam again and again from their ears, submissively, when they hear your holy name, definitely their hearts will be transformed. So Prabhupada actually considered himself as a representative of his Guru, of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and especially of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam in the Holy Name. You know, this is such a classical example, na? That is how a devotee in Krishna consciousness can serve as a leader. So that gratitude, without gratitude, one cannot actually be in that representative consciousness. So there is a very beautiful purport by Śrīla Prabhupāda. So it's not there in this, but like in our reading, we can find, I think it's 1.4.1, if I'm not wrong. So which talks about this gratitude and representative consciousness. So, okay. Yeah, integrity. So honesty to admit one's mistakes. So Parikshit's repentance is a very famous incident. You can see when Parikshit was like walking away from Shamik Rishi's ashram, you know, after like that incident happened, no? When he put that snake in Shamik Rishi's neck. So while going, he's kind of speaking to himself or to the Lord that actually I should be punished, isn't it? And I deserve, I have done a wrong thing, and my dear Lord, please. So I don't remember the exact statement, but he says like I should be punished, you know. And very soon, after some time, Shamik Rishi sends a disciple to inform Parikshit that unfortunately my son has cursed you and you're going to die in next 7 days. And when Parikshit hears that news, he takes it wholeheartedly. Not like, अरे मैं तो ऐसे ही बोल रहा था, seriously ले लिया क्या? So, so you find there is a sync between his thoughts and his inner self and his outer behavior. Not that he is different inside and different outside. Total integrity. So very good example of Parikshit. Yeah. Anybody would like to read this? You can recite the verse and as well as read the translation.
Was very opulent due to the property of his entire empire, remained at home as a householder. Since he was never inclined to offer his opulences for the gratification of his senses, he remained unattached, exactly like the sun, which is unaffected in all circumstances.
Yeah. So see, this is the example of a leader. Like there's his great Radheshyam Prabhu gives example of Chanakya. I'm sure you must have heard that some people were visiting India in those days, like in the medieval times when India was flourishing very much. So they said that we want to meet that Chanakya who's guiding the king. So where will we find Chanakya? They said some small hut somewhere. So then they went there. So when they went there, it was already like sunset time. And Chanakya was he was working on some table, writing something, and there was a lamp, kerosene lamp. So they said, like they introduced that we are this and this, and we wanted to meet you. And we have come from another country and we want to learn what are the principles by which a country should be led. You know, how do you actually guide the king so the country is flourishing so much? So please, can you please share? So he says, okay, just give me a minute. Then he brings another kerosene lamp, lights it, then switches off the first one. Then he says, yes, please tell me now, how can I serve? They said, they became intrigued, na? That, what is this? You know, because they are similar only. They said, first of all, you tell that why you switched off that lamp, and because what difference did it make? Oh, that is nothing. That the first one is given to me by the state because I'm doing the service. So that is like a resource given to be used in service. And this one is my personal, you know, which is from my earnings. So he said, actually, right now, this is not a state duty given to me. Right now, I'm choosing to serve you. So it's my personal choice. So I should use the resources which belong to me. And they were like totally bewildered. This thought even doesn't even cross our mind, right? Like you get company laptop, you're not like Veda Veda. In fact, if they tell you, would you like to take 3 laptops? Yeah. 300? Why not? Why 3? Right? No? Not like you're getting some pen there and some notebook there. So no, I will use only for my company work. No, you are using it everywhere. Probably you may be distributing also. So, so the point is that Prabhu, that they were so amazed by that. They said, if this is the level of character of like people who are guiding the king or the leadership has such character, why will such a country not flourish? They said, we got our lesson. It's the character which counts. So this integrity is the very foundation of character also. Character is foundation of a leader's personality, and integrity is foundation of character. Integrity means what we say we do. Integrity means even in tough circumstances, we live by the principles we believe in. Integrity means to remain sacred and loyal to the teachings of the Shastras, to the teachings of our Acharyas, whether in ups or in downs. Not to put our selfish agendas above it. Like that. So, okay, 7th. Yeah, would like to read.
Self-control and selflessness.
Yeah.
So, Angiraku prioritizing the needs, interests, and well-being of others over personal concerns, willingness to sacrifice.
Yeah. So actually, when people see such character of a leader, that is very faith-giving. What is the first verse in NOI, Nectar of Instruction? It says that a person who can control all his urges, this is the person who can actually make disciples all over the world. It's not about that, oh yeah, he should become famous or he should become the Swami. It's not like that. The verse is actually saying, if you cannot control your own mind and senses, how will you serve others? Because if we become das of our mind and senses, then we will do whatever we like to do. Okay. But if we actually can control our mind and senses, then we can actually serve others as a servant. So very, very good indication that in order, like we say, Maharaj, Guru Maharaj. Maharaj means what? He's not a king, right? But he is a king of his mind and senses. That sannyas danda, na? Yeah. So actually, in our Los Angeles temple in California, so you'll find like in their dramas and all, na? So sometimes they use many dandas, sannyas dandas, like many sannyasis. Suppose Prakashanda Saraswati drama, so they are showing 6, 7 disciples. They're having dandas. So one devotee said, "Arey, you made so many dandas." He said, "No, these are real dandas. There were people who were given these dandas in sannyas, and somehow Maya." So he said, "Don't add to the quantity of dandas, right? Which means control your mind. It's so important. Why India flourished so much, so much, even though India was almost the last country which Prabhupada started preaching in, like after establishing in Europe, America, Africa, even when Prabhupada did all the programs in India in the last 2-3 years, and then Prabhupada left, Prabhupada hardly had like 2-digit Indian disciples. You know that? See, there were some disciples who were of Indian origin, but Prabhupada met them in the West. Like Bhakti Charu Maharaj, Gopal Krishna Maharaj, many like that. But sense control is extremely important. Mind control is extremely important. Otherwise, one will not be able to make the right choices. A very good example comes in 4th canto of King Prithu. So, why did Prithu's kingdom flourish so much? Because of Prithu's ability to control his mind and senses. You know this example of King Nanda? This King Nanda was the king of Bihar. What is the name of that? Pataliputra. Magad ka Raja. He was the one who actually gave way to Alexander to enter India and to start conquering India. Yeah. So other leaders were still united, or they were still sense controlled. So Alexander and his army, they were trying to find a way to enter Indian territory. Which Rajya will open up its borders to us? Like they say, nowadays Bengal, it opens up the borders for infiltrators. And then they trouble the entire country. And do you think later on they will not trouble Bengal? Oh, it's a promise of a terrorist. So actually this King Nanda, he was they came to know, this Alexander and his people, they came to know this guy is very much addicted to women and wine. So they said, see, we will give you wealth, women and wine. WWW. You just give us the way inside. And obviously, you are our friend. We will never trouble you. We will trouble the other people. And he always, anyways, had problem with others that, oh, others are having, their kingdoms are flourishing. In India, like that. So he was, yeah, aajo. Just give me the wealth, women and wine. And that is how they entered. Of course, thanks to Chanakya, who trained this Chandragupta Maurya. And then, you know what happened. But the idea is, when one is loose in sense control, so similarly about like this first prime minister, or some first few prime ministers of India. So this was the case, like, because they fell prey to some of the sense gratification things. So that's why India would lose to Pakistan, China, and all. In the history, there are so many episodes when a king falls to sense gratification, which is like adharmic sense gratification. Then everybody has to suffer in the kingdom. On the other hand, you see, like I was giving an example, why India flourished, even though India was started last by Prabhupada. Because Indian leaders, like you see, His Holiness Jayapataka Maharaj, more than 50 years of sannyas. See, His Holiness Bhakti Charu Maharaj died a warrior. Till his last breath, he was like active, in preaching happily. His Holiness Loknath Maharaj, His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj, His Holiness Bhakti Vikas Maharaj. So many, His Holiness Radha Govind Maharaj. All these leaders, they remained like these strong pillars. If you remove a pillar, you destroy the pillar, then whole thing will collapse. So when the leadership is very stable, okay, in their character, in their practice, automatically it will flourish. You don't have to do anything. People will do. Will automatically flourish. So therefore, this is very important. You see the example of Prithu Maharaj I was sharing. Prithu Maharaj was not overly ambitious that, no, I should become Shatakritu. Okay, if it is required for me to humble myself and be selfless and let Indra have the record, so that Indra doesn't trouble, fine, I'm ready to have it. Because leadership means, if you want to flourish the kingdom, you have to many times bow down. Okay, no problem. You become humble. You take the humble seat. You become selfless. Like for example, my younger brother, so he was always like, वो ऐसे किसी को सुनेगा नहीं इतना आसानी से, बोलता है, अरे मैं कभी जॉब नहीं करूंगा, हम बिजनेस करेंगे, किसी का अंडर काम नहीं करने का, झुकेगा नहीं. ओके, यू अंडरस्टैंड ना, वेरी टफ गाय. तो वो बोलते, तुम लोग तो एकदम हमेशा झुके हुए रहते हो. So I said, you wait and watch, beta. You young blood, na? Young blood. This world and this life is not easy. Okay, this will make you bow down. So this guy got 2 kids eventually. Now, when his first kid grew up, he wanted him to, get admission in the best school, like which has very good values and culture also, Sanatan Dharma school, and at the same time, it is very high class. But in that school, it's like very difficult to get admission. So he went to so many people, So actually, when you have love for someone selflessly, it has that much power that it can give you power to control your senses and mind and to bow down, to become selfless, even as the leader. And those who are leaders of the family, like, they know how much they have to bow down and make compromises, be selfless, right? Otherwise, you cannot prosper your family that easy, or running a temple or preaching. Those who are doing preaching, they know सबके सामने झुकना पड़ता है ना, adjust करना पड़ता है, like Ganges. ऐसा नहीं कि कुछ some obstruction came and you are like, hey, obstruction, you move. No, I'll adjust because I have to flow. Right? Kunti Maharani gives this example. So similarly, Prithu Maharaj loved his kingdom and he wanted to please the Supreme Lord. Therefore, he was willing to humble himself. If he did not have that self-control, there would have been a terrible fight between him and Indra. So like that. So Angira also says to Chitraketu that king should be prioritizing the needs, interests and well-beings of others over personal concern. Okay. Last one in the personal character. Yeah, would like to read?
Responsibility versus detachment.
So this is a very high-class quality. Responsibility versus detachment. So let me give you one example of what immediately comes to my mind is of Priyavrat Maharaj. So in the 5th canto, 1st chapter, King Priyavrat was requested by Swayambhu Manu that you become the king now. But actually he was already in sannyas order of life, renounced order of life. And his guru, Narad Muni, was telling him, no, this is all trap of Maya. Don't go into that. We should remain pure. And his father is telling that, no, please. Father is feeling very angry also. Like Brahmaji felt angry when he requested Chatush Kumaras. Chatush Kumaras said, forget about procreation. We will not grow up only. Brahma felt so much anger actually what to say, but what to do that time. So that time Brahma became angry. So Rudra came out. Another son because of anger. This is interesting, huh? If this would happen to ISKCON brahmacharis, all brahmacharis would be fathers. When Brahma got angry, so Rudra came out, na? Lord Shiva, he got birth. And then he was enthused to produce kids. I will do it. Then problem is he produced hobgoblins and other guys. Bhutas, Pretas and all. Then they ran to kill Brahma. Brahma said, what nonsense. One guy is not ready to produce kids. Another guy produces kids. That too. You also stop. You also stop. Then Brahma made further arrangement. That's a different thing. But the idea is that Priyavrat Maharaj, when he was given this, that please you become the king, he said no. So he had detachment. He was telling no. And they were telling please, 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 please. And finally Brahma came when nothing was working. So because sometimes the council becomes more powerful than temple president. So the temple president is like, then he calls the GBC. Samjhao isko. So Brahmaji came. And Brahmaji said, Arey, our Acharya wants, our Krishna wants you to do. Can you not sacrifice? Then the council also said, yeah, I think we should do now. So then he accepts actually, Priyavrat Maharaj. So very important lesson is given by Shukadeva Goswami and Prabhupada. Beautiful lesson. Who is fit to understand Krishna's will and serve Krishna's will? A person who is unwilling to accept control or leadership. But his superiors are eager to empower him. They are ready to trust him. They are ready to entrust him with that role. So this recipe is a recipe for success. That we are not eager to get privileges or power or control, or to have name and fame. Like Madhavendra Puri, when Gopinath stole that kheer, so he immediately felt, I'll unnecessarily become famous and people immediately ran. His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj, when he was told to take sannyas, he said no, because people give too much respect and pride comes. Then they said, then you'll have to get married, because then he'll never get married. He had taken a vow. So he said, okay, I'll get married. That was not the point. Point was that you take sannyas. Then they said, for Prabhupada, can you not take sannyas for Prabhupada's service? We need more preachers. Then he said, if you put it like that, then I'll have to say yes. So that should be one's disposition, actually. That the leader should be detached. So in this, the example of Dashrath and Manu can be seen. The moment Swayambhu Manu saw that this is a guy who can now take up the leadership, Privrat, immediately he was ready to retire, jumping to retire. Dashrath Maharaj saw in the morning in the mirror first white hair, and immediately goes to the court and says to his minister, I should retire. 51-52 go to 1. So eagerness, the moment we see a candidate fit to take up, we should immediately. I know one temple where 10-15 brahmacharis, young brahmacharis, left the ashram. You know why? What is the biggest challenge for youths in India? Berojgari. Unemployment. Yeah, let thoda graphically. So these brahmacharis, they joined, and for 2-3 years they were talented, well educated, young, filled with energy. But they were told, अभी चुपचाप बैठो, झाड़ू पोंछा लगाओ, थोड़ा chanting करो 64 माला. Because the seniors were not willing to give up or to pass on the baton. Okay, I've been serving as in the preaching for last 4-5 years. Now some young devotees have come. They want to do. I can take up other service. I can guide them. I can, do many other services. I can open preaching another place. But this is a very vital thing, that the devotee, the leader is detached and he's also responsible. He's willing to do, he's willing to serve, but he's detached. Like Bharat Maharaj example also we discussed, Rama and Bharat Maharaj. Like that. So very good examples like that actually. So Rupa Goswami, he says, qualification for karma is attachment. Otherwise, how can you do karma? That's why Vraja Krishna Prabhu is the pure devotee and big fan of Nishkam Karma. I told you to write a book, Your Acharya of Nishkam Karma Yoga. So qualification for karma is attachment. You cannot do karma unless you have attachment. Qualification for jnana is detachment. What is qualification for bhakti? Surrender. No, Mataji, don't put tukka. Neither attached nor detached. Okay. Love. Okay. So Rupa Goswami says a balance of both. You should have little bit attachment, little bit detachment. Same responsibility when you are attached to the Lord, out of love. And detachment when you're detached from personal agendas. So Rupa Goswami says, even if you want to serve as leader, you have to be attached to the place, the temple, the center, or the devotees. If you're not attached, then you'll not be responsible. So there has to be, you initially we may engage our tendency of attachment, and eventually it may become spiritual attachment totally. So he says that there has to be this combination, a good balance of both. That. So, yeah. So of course there is a lot more discussion we can do on this. So these are the 8 qualities actually, very good qualities of leaders from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. You can see this example like Parikshit Maharaj, Yudhishthir Maharaj, Dhruv Maharaj, very good examples of responsibility and detachment. Even Bharat Maharaj, who became deer, na? Of course, not the deer episode. I'm talking before that. He responsibly ruled the world, but as soon as he got the right sons to pass on, Bhagavatam says he left the kingdom like someone passing stool. Mallavat. My God. Do you see the stool? Oh, I'm going to leave the stool in the toilet. You don't feel bad, right? Probably you feel good about it. So this combination of responsibility and detachment frees us from doership mentality, enjoyership mentality. Okay, so this completes the first part of the personal character. So you can tell me if you should discuss for 15 minutes more about the administrative capacity, or should we stop here, take some questions and end? Question answers? Okay. Yes, Prabhu, if devotees have any comments, anything you would like to add, or any questions, please. Yes, Prabhuji.
I wish it was so elaborately discussing on it.
All glories to Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam.
In my experience as whatever the capacity I've been doing service to many projects, leading ways, teaching or giving lectures, I have noticed one thing, that leading someone, either individually or community or a base, is very painful.
Yes.
It's a very painful task. Even leading a single person is very painful because you have to be always available up to you as a role model. And you are very painful. I want to understand because you always have to stick to these.
Yeah, right.
So, how can we overcome this painful part? Because ultimately, because our seniors have told us, we can endure this pain for 1, 2, 5, 10 years. But if this pain doesn't convert into bliss, then we will not be able to sustain. What is the way?
A very good question. And this is definitely coming from your experience. I mean, you're serving, you're trying to serve. Otherwise, actually, this question itself may not come. Prabhuji, there is one aspect, okay, which many ISKCON leaders often neglect in trying to be ideal. But this is also part of ideality. What is that aspect? This aspect is, yesterday also I was discussing with some devotees, to be willing to expose our vulnerability, even as a leader. Because we are not Krishna, absolute truth. We are jivas. And each of us have our vulnerabilities. So when a leader is willing to admit and expose his weaknesses or his vulnerabilities, he's not wrong. This is just being human. We're trying to serve the divine, but we are not yet totally on divine platform. So even if a leader admits that, Prabhu, this is not my forte, okay, this is not my core competence. This is where I need you. I cannot do on by myself. See, Prabhupada, he always said, I am thanks to all of you that my spiritual master mission is going ahead. Otherwise, what could I alone do? Prabhupada would give so much credit to his disciples, actually. So this act of depending on others, so sometimes there are times when, like, I have to give some class somewhere, and sometimes I ask some of the devotees who are like counselees of my counselees also. There is no problem. What is the problem? Because we are trying to serve Krishna, and we are not all perfect too. So to expose our vulnerability that, oh, I cannot go alone there. I may get affected by Maya. Can you please come along with me? Not a problem. Or like to admit, like say, I can admit that, Prabhu, I am not very good in book distribution. I can happily do, I can go with someone, I can do. In some forms of book distribution, I can do. But in, like, if I have to be like book distribution in charge and in a temple or in a center and inspire everyone, I may not be able to do. What is the problem in accepting that? So this will actually inspire other people more, that yes, I can also serve as a leader in my limited capacity. It's not that I have to show, because then if this is the culture we want to set, that in order to inspire others, I will act as a role model. Prabhuji, we can speak, then after that we can act, but finally we have to be. So we cannot do drama for whole life. When we get, one day we will get exposed that actually this is a part we have been doing acting simply. So we can honestly do acting, that Prabhu, I'm trying my best to be enthusiastic about this, although I don't feel so. But that's okay. That's not nowhere it is written in the scripture that you have to, do this. It's nothing like that. So that honesty is also part of integrity. That I'm not trying to put up a drama. I'm trying to inspire you. I will try to be good, but I will honestly try to be a good devotee. It's not just to inspire you that I chant in the morning. So when nobody is there, I'll not chant. No, it's not like that. So we struggle to become a good ideal example, and at the same time, there has to be a level of honesty. And that vulnerability actually is a very stable form of leadership. So we all try to improve and take help of each other. A leader is not like an all perfect, all the time, all perfect person. No, he also needs others. Does it help, bro? Yeah, means I am saying you will not experience that pain when you are honest. When you can say, Prabhu, this is one aspect out of 10 aspects, or these are two aspects where I'm not that perfect. I'm just trying my best. See, what is Varnashrama? Varnashrama means Brahmana is very good in certain aspects. If you ask Brahmana to fight, he may not be able to fight in the battle. And then everyone said that he doesn't go to him. Not like, I have to be best fielder, best batsman, and best at everything. I can try to do my best, but I can do that. I cannot be everything. But I can try to do my best. That is the thing we can teach to others by our action. That thing we can do. We can teach the ideal principle of offering our best to Krishna. But it cannot be always, because this is artificial to it. It's not sustainable. How long will you do that? And then you're putting him also in the misery in the next generation. You also try now. You are also going to relax. So, okay. Does it help? Okay. So we are a team. Good news is we are a team. So he can find ideal examples together. And he can find the ideal principle in everyone. Yes, they're trying their best. Right? There are some leaders I know who are disaster in terms of, like I'm talking of, like those are leadership positions, okay, in ISKCON. They're disasters in terms of strategizing for preaching or even giving classes. But they're very good in taking care of devotees and inspiring them to do it. Then there are leaders who have no idea about fundraising. Okay. But point is not that they have to know it. They have to do it. Point is that together, if they're able to get it done by empowering those who are able to do it, that's great. Okay. Is to any other devotee ones. So you want to add? Okay then. And I think you'll end here. So I can just show it in 10 minutes. Okay. You You would like to see? Haribol! And they're very good actually, equally good like this. So the first one was spirit, this is action. So administrative capabilities. So in this there are 7 qualities. Okay. Yeah. This is a very beautiful verse, but I'm not reciting right now. First quality. Would like to read? This is the title.
Ensuring suitable engagement and training.
Yeah. So you can see this in our parampara, like Brahma gave training to Narada. Of course, you know, Brahma also was given training by Vishnu. Sorry. Then Narada gave training to Vyasa. Vyasa gave training to Mohan, of course. Of course, here it says Shuka, but basically it's showing the parampara. Vyasa also gave training to Shuka in terms of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. And then Shukadeva Goswami, he trained Sutta Goswami. And then like that the parampara goes on. So Prabhupada himself, you will find in Tamal Krishna Maharaj's books, Prabhupada himself trained Tamal Krishna Maharaj and many other leaders, Giriraj Maharaj. Then they in turn trained the next generation leaders. Okay. So you will find skill training also. Drona is training the Pandavas. And that is how the Rajarishis are, you get Rajarishis. So in Ishopanishad, there is a mention of Vidya and Avidya. Both are required. Like Prabhupada also taught us about Krishna and about Maya. Prabhupada taught us about Leela and Prabhupada taught us about Tattva. So similarly, we have to also learn about direct spiritual matters and we also have to learn about material matters so that we can serve Prabhupada. If we think that I will only learn about the holy name, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, I don't have to learn skills like Mridang Kartal or like management, fundraising, taking care of devotees. These are skills, cooking, and these are very important, vital skills for our movement. Prabhupada wanted us to know that. You see, Prabhupada was so good in everything. Of course, that doesn't mean we have to be that good in everything. But Prabhupada wanted us to become jack of all trades, master of some. May not be one necessary. Some. So Prabhupada said, look at me, follow my example. There is a famous letter in which Prabhupada says, follow my example, like how I am doing. One man to start a sentence. No? Don't do it later on. So Prabhupada clearly said, you should know a little bit about this. You should know a little bit about this. And that is how you go and preach. Or Radhesham ko bolte na, then you will be taken in a helicopter and be dropped like commandos. Put it so nicely, you know. And sometimes when you are sent for seva, you may not find a moped also. Forget about helicopter. So the Vedic culture is there has to be training before seva. So training is very, very, very important. One of the reasons ISKCON has suffered a lot, especially after Prabhupada left, is because of untrained leadership. If you do not train leadership in these 3 important aspects, what are they? First is spiritual training. They should be clear with tattva, they should be clear with priorities, as we discussed. And second training is administrative or leadership. Because when His Holiness Bhakti Charu Maharaj would say, he was telling this in ILS Sangha, ISKCON Leadership Sangha. He said, when you put a talented devotee or a spirited devotee under an untrained leader, you create disaster in his life. Because you understand how it happens. And when you do opposite, you give a blessing to this devotee. You bless that devotee with so much opportunity to serve Krishna with his heart and soul. So that is a second training. And third training is devotee care. So unless these 3 basic trainings are there are many more types of training. But without these 3, actually simply trying to expand, just because we're getting a land, just because we're getting an opportunity to expand, send anyone and everyone. Then the movement is also misrepresented actually often.
and devotees suffer like that. So Shastras are teaching us. You can see Lakshman, Ram, Lakshman, they were trained also by Vishwamitra Muni. Supreme Lord himself is showing this. Krishna Sudama, they were trained. Krishna Sudama, Balaram. So Prabhupada writes this purport. Someone would like to read the highlighted sentences?
Engaging devotees in service as per their capacity. The real fact is that a bona fide spiritual master knows the nature of a particular man and what sort of duties he can perform in Krishna consciousness, and he instructs him that way.
Yeah.
The different departments of activity in Krishna consciousness and the spiritual master knowing the particular ability of a particular man trains him in such a way that by his tendency to act he becomes perfect. An artist can attain perfection simply by performing artistic work under the direction of the spiritual master. If one is a literary man, he can write articles and poetry for the service of the Lord under the direction of the spiritual master.
Yeah. So we have to engage, we have to train and engage devotees as per their capacity. Like I was giving you an example of Brahmaji. So when Brahmaji realized that Rudra as well as his products, they are only good for destruction. So he realized that Shiva is very good, but I have put him in wrong department. So I should train him for destruction and I should put him for destruction. That is also a seva which is required. Like say you have to, you require some seva of sometimes crowd control, right? Festival time. That no, right now don't go to Prasad. Correct? That time we should not put some Mrudu devotee, Very nice. Seva will suffer, he will suffer, people will suffer. And then, all the barricades will be broken and all. And then you will chastise him. Why did you? You have to put some, powerful devotee like Dinesh to Correct, no? He'll keep his manners also, but he's going to be no means no. Correct, no? When he wants to be tight, he can be tight. So it depends, like, how you engage. Samudra Manthan Lila also, our Lord engaged different people differently, demigods differently, and demons differently. So even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he gave to 6 Goswamis, Shad Goswamis, the mission in, like he gave certain instruction, he trained them, gave them those instructions, those guidance. In Varanasi, Prayagraj, where I am serving, there Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave that Shiksha to Rupa and Sanatana. Similarly, Mahaprabhu gave to other devotees, other things. Like to Haridas Thakur, he just told you just chant. He didn't tell this to 6 Goswamis. He didn't tell Haridas Thakur you study scriptures, establish temples, establish deity worship. So this is how, like, training is very, very important. Right training to the right person. Okay. See, Lord Brahma's service elevation. Okay. Prithu Maharaj also. Okay, next. Can I read?
Organization and supervision, inspiring a spirit of cooperation and teamwork, mainly in service.
Yeah. So organization and supervision is very important. You can see how in one class last time I came, Raj Krishna was giving this example of Gundicha Mahajan. So when Gundicha Mahajan, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself organizes, correct? You all have heard that?
Yes.
How he organizes, he says, Chalo, first, we'll do this, first we'll do that, and then get the brooms, correct? And bring there was a team who was bringing the water. And then Mahaprabhu was also supervising, correct? Hey, the dust is left. And he was giving rewards also. Let us see who has done more, correct? So you see Mahaprabhu organizing. So organizing is very important. If we see organization and management may be a headache, but that is like a pistol which uses the bullet of preaching to become very effective. Bullet kills the person. Similarly, preaching, the Harinam, the Bhagavatam, that is the essence. But you need a bullet to fire you need a pistol to fire the bullet. You throw bullet like this, nothing will happen. So because we are in the organization, na? So we have like centers are there, there is organized way of everything, facilities are there, right? Legal systems are there, fundraising is there. And therefore we're able to do so much. So much good benefit is there. So organization is important. Supervision is also important. So when you do over supervision, micromanagement, then person gets burnt out. This guy makes me cry only. And when you like you don't see only, you don't ask only, you don't take interest only, you do whatever you want, then he feels discouraged. If Prabhuji is not happy only, he doesn't like this service. Correct, no? So there has to be a balance. So similarly, if you do over organization, you tell the guy, you do this, एकदम उसको लिख के एक step दे दो. तो बोलेगा प्रभु फिर आप ही कर. Your head and my hands. No, I also have head. But if you just leave him into the water, he doesn't know swimming also. But up to ही कर. तेरा head, तेरा hand. तेरा leg also. Then he will drown. You just give him that support, how much ever he needs. Sometimes the only support he needs is CC. Just be in CC. Keep blessing, be in CC. So you see what that balance is needed actually. But the idea is that the leader has to understand these things like about delegation, about organization, about planning, strategizing, these kind of things. So I'll give you one example and go to the next. So of course, this is not like direct organization example, but it's a very nice example. In Gopal Champu, I heard in one lecture, in Gopal Champu by Kavi Karnapur, he gives example of Mother Yashoda training Krishna. So when Gopal was growing, so mothers may know this, no? Mothers are sitting. So they teach the child to walk. How do they teach? They take the child, like when he starts getting up on his feet. So they take the child both hands, they catch. Beta, get up. And the child gets up. Then their feet are there, no? So then they place the child's both the feet on their feet. Like, you understand? Then they slowly walk behind, like, and they teach the child, no? See? Not like this. Any of you have experience of this? Seen? So they teach like this. So after some time, the child is feeling very happy. Oh, then the mother leaves one hand. Okay. The child. After some time, the mother, what she does, she stands beside the child and holds his hand firmly. And sometimes hold the shoulder and okay, walk. She's still making him walk. But now that feet are not there. Then after some time, she will she will not guide or something. She just hold the hand. Just walk along with me. So then he walks. After some time, she leaves the hand also. She just walks like she's there in the side. Child tries to walk. He's about to fall. Then the mother catches. Okay. Then again, then he slowly begins to walk like that. So then the mother goes and stands in front, little distance. Come. How will I come? No, you come. He encourages. The child catches something. Slowly he learns that. And if the child falls, then the mother comes running. Then after some time, mother goes to another room or sits in the chair. Now you come. How will I come? That I don't know. Figure out. And of course, eventually the child learns to. Then he starts running around and the mother says, come here. No, I'm running. Right? This is how you grow the devotee also actually. Supervision means first you may have to like initially when you are giving him the service, preaching, go preach. Don't become like Prabhupada. This Delhi get down here and bring. You may have to do that, like, isn't it? But eventually the child has to grow up. We teach the child. After he grows, still you are chalo. Hey, what chalo? You chalo. Like that. So guidance versus spoon feeding. If you do spoon feeding all the time, you'll never grow up. Then you have to keep doing spoon feeding. Then he will tell you, Prabhuji, toilet, go to toilet. There. He'll go, Prabhuji, now open the door. 2 hours spoon feeding. Eventually, they grow up so much that Ram is consulting Sugriva. Right? So eventually, people grow that much that you will consult me. Like when parents consult and depend upon their kids eventually. Isn't it? That is the way we have to grow. Not like I will be grown up, you will always remain junior. Okay. Third quality is
Vigilance, determination.
Yeah. So vigilance, determination, and resourcefulness actually. So you can see Parikshit Maharaj. Very determination is 4th quality. It's written a little different way. 3rd quality is vigilance and resourcefulness. So leader has to be resourceful. Suppose a devotee comes, Prabhuji, for tomorrow there is no grocery left. Huh? Prabhu, what to do? Just pray to Krishna. You have to be resourceful. See, when Prathu Maharaj was there's no grain, there's no vegetables. He did not say like, chalo, hum sab 64 rounds karenge. He might have told some Brahmanas to do it. But he said, how there is no, we will go and make sure that the earth gives, that the right deals are done. Correct, na? The legal compliances, resourcefulness, how to get donation, right? How to organize it. The leader has to be resourceful. Prabhuji, ye kahan se laye? Mujhe kya pata? Not he also joins it crying. Prabhuji, anti-preaching has happened. You have to be giving solutions to people, right? So you have to be resourceful. Of course, not that always you only give solutions. Then I am the Brahma. Even Brahma at times fail, he goes to Vishnu. Or sometimes you can help them only to bring out solutions. But leader has to be resourceful. Okay? And another thing is vigilance. So we can trust people, we can empower people, but we have to be alert. Like Parikshit was alert. Oh, Kali has come. Immediately he went. No Kali, you cannot enter in our kingdom. Similarly, we see this devotee is getting spoiled by Maya. He's getting grabbed by sinful activities. Immediately we go. No. This has to be controlled like that.
Yeah.
So you can see Krishna also was very vigilant and resourceful in his kingdom also, actually, always. And Lord Ramachandra, very good example. You heard that Lord Ramachandra would secretly go in the night to hear, like he was very vigilant to himself also see what they are taking. Okay. Yeah. 4th quality. 3.
Determination despite obstacles.
Yeah. So Brahmaji, when he faced obstacles, in creation. So now I'm not going to, for the sake of time, I'm not going to get into details. But I'm sure some of you must have heard this, Brahma's prayers of empowerment. Then Brahma faced these 5 obstacles, like distractions, disturbance. Anyway, leave the detail. So then, but still Brahma was determined. Like you see, Prabhupada, when Prabhupada's service, so many obstacles came. ISKCON has faced some of the most obstacles. And so many number of fall down cases, court cases, child abuse case, in which ISKCON had to pay millions of dollars. Zunal Acharya days. We are sitting in Bangalore. Where else could I get more? Like, of course, I don't want to get into all that, but I remember I was also there in that team when that High Court order came. So a team of devotees went to take over. So मैं तो सब बच्चा था, मुझे भी लेके गए थे. And so many crowds of they had brought crowds of thousands of their supporters and devotees. ऊपर जाते ना एक रोड जा रहा है. तो कार को इन्होंने सराउंड कर लिया. वो मुझे लगा बाप रे आज तो हरे कृष्ण हरे मरे अपन तो इनसे गोलों खेल जाएंगे भैया कहाँ लेके जाना तुम कोर्ट क्वार्टर है कि नहीं मैं तो अभी शेव भी नहीं किया मरवाओगे मुझे literally like पूरे वो thought like because in India ultimately crowd works कोर्ट का ऑर्डर था बट बता दिया उन्होंने so actually मुझे तो लग रहा था पता नहीं आगे कुछ करेंगे कि नहीं ये लोग तो डिटरमिन्ड है और करेंगे हम दूसरे कोर्ट में जाएंगे and you can see it goes on and so determination beyond yeah, so many obstacles come actually when you're trying to serve. So many obstacles come. Some devotees trying to join brahmacharya. Nice obstacles. फिर उसी में तो मजा है. You otherwise everything happens smoothly. There was no fun, right? There's no dependence on the Lord. Prabhupada's journey to America, you see. Hanuman's journey to Lanka, you see. A lot of parallels. So, fifth quality. So, how many of you believe in multitasking? That we should do multitask? Yeah, this is the right answer. See, compatible things you can do multitask. Like Chiku shake. Chiku and milk. It works together. But Nimbu shake? Okay. It's like Japa with email. है ना? आपने पिया ना नींबू शेक? नहीं होता वही तो ऐसा नहीं होता पानी के साथ ना right ना like that. Imagine you are giving Bhagavatam class while you are taking shower. You should not, right? But I just say this much that competence is very important. Many times devotees who are especially they have this extremism of Brahmanical culture or Satvaguna, they neglect this aspect of competence. But competence is very important. Somebody may be pure devotee. Okay. But let us say I am a pure devotee. But I'm not a doctor or surgeon. You know? Now this Jain Prabhu has liver problem. Right? Operation has to be done, surgery. So Prabhu, because Brahmanical culture, pure Brahman, pure Vaishnava. I don't have any lust, anger, greed, And Prabhuji, do you have any skills or any, that guy can do, no? He left for hospital only. So, you must say, have you done anything before? No. Prabhu, pure heart. I said, Prabhu, no, pure devotee is going to cook. So has he cooked before? There is no track record of cooking. Oh, I'm sadhana bhakta. Okay. Some skill has to be there. Correct or not? Some skill has to be there. So that is the idea. So competence is, equally important as character and spiritual advancement. Because we are living in the material world, we have a material body, and we are expanding Krishna's mission here. So all the aspects are material. And you can see Prabhupada's example for this. His own as Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. So many leaders' examples. Whatever Krishna has given us abilities, we should use them, like Hanuman. If Hanuman starts also behaving like squirrel, Lord Ram, you are pleased anyways. Please. Then the sixth quality.
Empowerment and succession planning. Rolling responsibility and retirement with determination. Transferring responsibilities to a capable successor.
Yeah. This is probably the most undermined and neglected quality as in many Krishna conscious leaders, because I think we little bit discuss about this, no? Like retiring. So actually, right from day one, a leader should be preparing for succession. Who is going to be there next? If a community has to be very stable, there has to be at least 3 levels of leadership. And that's like shock absorber. So Radheshyam gives one example of the geese. Na? Sometimes a leader gets tired, so he comes on the side. Then another devotee can lead. So when you have levels of leadership, the community is very stable against all the shocks which might come. And people find shelter at one level or another. Sometimes a child is fearful of the father, but he can go to mother. Sometimes fearful of both, he can go to grandma. Correct, na? So this thing about suddenly suppose someone dies, then the entire community will collapse. So there has to be levels of leadership. People have to have inspiration and shelter with multiple people. Not in a separatist way, but in an included way. Like they're all together now. Like that. You can see Rishabh there. He also empowered his sons. You know? He told that Bharat will be the king and you all follow him. Correct? Like you can see, Prabhupada also prepared for leadership. If you see Prabhupada's will, 90% of his will is non-spiritual. It's about how how society will go on, which properties, how the property system should be there, management system should be there, how DBC should take the society ahead, who will do initiations on my behalf or on the Parampara's behalf. So Prabhupada was crystal clear that he has to give all these things. What is the difference between empowerment and delegation? Empowerment means you delegate authority, you delegate that you use your head, you use your abilities. And delegation means I will tell you what to do, you just do. Okay? Shri Radha Shyam Sundar sorry, Shri Radha Madhav ki Shri Gauri Nitai ki somehow my mind will Vrindavan. Huh? Yeah, that's so I'll just end this in 5 minutes. So I was saying that succession planning is a very, very, very important. Leaders should not feel insecure that why should I create succession? Succession is probably one of the top 3 important duties of leader. To train. You can see so many kings, they would feel despondent that I am not having the right successor to the kingdom. Because it takes time to train. It takes time to do the transition. And one should be willing to come in the role of an advisor after some time. Like that. So it is said a leader's greatness is not measured by his followers, but a leader's greatness is measured by the quality of his succession. Have you produced some successful? Have you produced able leaders? Like you see Prabhupada, one moon produced so many moons. Giriraj Maharaj writes this book, many moons. One touchstone produced many touchstones. Okay. So rule with responsibility and retire with detachment.
Empowerment. Entrusting devotees with opportunities, appropriate independence, and resources to execute their services happily and proficiently.
Yeah. So we have to also give guidance after giving succession, because it's violence to give guidance without experience. Actually, those who do not have experience now, they cannot give guidance. Therefore, brahmachari should not guide or counsel grihasthas. And also, grihasthas also should not counsel and guide. So the idea is that, like the Radheshyam says, no? Teach one while being teach one while being taught. So one can use one's experience and maturity then to guide the next generation. Read this.
Greatness is measured not by followers, but by the success they nurture.
7th quality.
taking responsibility of dependence.
Yeah.
Lord Vishnu apology for Kumaris.
So Lord Vishnu was ready to take responsibility of his servants, Jai Vijay's acts, right? And you can see in so many, like Prithu Maharaj's example again, that he was ready to take responsibility of his dependents. I'll get all the, I'll get the earth to produce everything. Don't worry, isn't it? Right. So every king has to take responsibility of his praja. Like Lord Ram took responsibility of, I have to protect Sita, isn't it? Right. So Prabhupada, he would take responsibility for protecting his foreign disciples in India. When Indians or smart Brahmanas would object, Prabhupada would roar like a lion. You fool. Prabhupada say, okay, their pronunciation may be imperfect, but their renunciation is perfect. Your pronunciation may be perfect, but you have no renunciation. So Prabhupada stood for his disciples, took responsibility. So these are the 7 qualities, 7 administrative capabilities, qualities of a leader from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. So already we have crossed 9:37. Stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ji. Śrīla Prabhupāda ki. Jai Gaur Vrindavan.
Hare Krishna. Prabhu coming here in this session. Request him to come. It's a wonderful topic about administration and from Bhagavatam. Yeah, so let's thank him. I'm chanting Hare Krishna Mohan.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Leadership qualities and Prabhu from very beginning to give credit to others, engage others, and succession planning to give team space. So if you go, then you will realize this wonderful special leadership qualities.
So when you have good friends, the association has impact on you.
So I'd like to announce the book is post. So Barsana Voice, ECT Voice, they've done 370 books. Sarjapur Road Yoga Devotees, they've done 297 books. And Indanagar Yoga Devotees, they've done 270 books. They're working hard. They're going in trains, Indanagar Devotees, and doing a lot of books. I heard in Barsana Voice, they have started before the marathon itself. I think Sarjapur Road has to catch up. There. Prabhupada